What happens when a group of paranormal investigators start a conversation? You get Ghost of the Coast Paranormal, the podcast. Tales of the dead, the bizarre, and all things supernatural. Join us now as we discuss what makes a haunting. Ooh. Hi, and welcome back to Ghost of the Coast Paranormal, the podcast. I'm Erin,
I'm Linnea.
I'm Deborah.
and tonight, whenever you're listening to this, we are discussing all things haunted. So, what makes a haunting, what objects get haunted, what types of hauntings, etc. So,
Etc. Etc.
etc. So, yeah, this is take 2 for us. The first take didn't take. um Apparently I was lagging and stuff. But yeah, so how are y'all doing today? Take 2. How are y'all doing?
We're doing good. Enjoying the beautiful weather today.
Oh yeah.
Jealous we didn't get to take naps like somebody else.
Who got to
All
take a nap?
right.
I
Had
don't,
a money.
I don't know who you're talking about. All right. So, um yeah, so when we were doing our previous recording that didn't work, um we were talking about what we got into this weekend, and we had a fun camping retreat this weekend for the team, and we ate some good food. We went fishing.
We
We
played,
Nobody
some
went to
played
jail.
raccoons.
nobody went to jail.
I thought you said, I
And
was like,
nobody
you went to
broke
jail?
and nobody broke anything.
Nope. And we got to play with some baby raccoons, sing some karaoke. That was fun. It was a
Yana caught a
fun.
bunch of fish.
Yes, she did. She just put a line out in the water, and then all of a sudden she was catching fish. But yeah, it was a fun weekend. It was. I think we really needed it as a team. Um, it was a lot of fun. We got to do it more often. Um,
For sure.
Faux show.
We didn't make
But
any of our games that we had planned.
no, we didn't do any games. Which there's there'll be many more times. But
Yeah, that would have, if we wanted to get games in there, that would have had to been like a full weekend thing.
oh, for sure, for sure. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. Deborah cooked some awesome food,
Mm. Some
y'all.
cobbler.
Deborah is a mean cook. She can make it up in the kitchen now. Let me just toot just a minute on Deborah's cooking. She look. We did simple food. We did tacos for dinner
Burgers.
and burgers, but dog, they were good.
Fried onions. We had some shrimp too.
Shrimp, and she made chocolate cobbler.
Hmm.
Um, I didn't eat any of that because I'm trying to do good, but I could smell it. I could smell it, and I've had it before, and it was delicious. So I was very sad that I didn't get to eat any this time.
Your
But
loss
I
is
was
my gain.
exactly. I was trying to be good. Trying to be
Do you
good.
have any left, Linnea?
I got to check after this. I haven't been in the refrigerator yet today. I don't know what these kids doing here.
Yeah, Gianna made out like a bandit. You won't have to buy her no junk this week, that's for sure.
And she's eating now because before she wasn't feeling so good. But
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, it was a good weekend. Definitely got to do it more often. We got a
Mhm.
busy weekend coming up too. We got
I have trouble sleeping at night, but I don't know if it's because I was so tired or because I was so relaxed where we were and just being in nature. Because
Mm-hmm.
when we were done for the night and we came in, I cut the air conditioner off in the camper, and it was so cool with the nicest breeze blowing outside. We raised the windows in the camper and cut the fans on, and it had just enough nip in the air. It made you want to hunker down in the bed and just pull your covers up.
Mm-hmm.
But good Lord, I slept all night long, both nights.
Well, and
Yeah.
it really is a beautiful property.
Yeah.
It
Oh,
is.
for
It's
sure.
gorgeous. It is gorgeous. And those frogs back there behind us in that pond just
Burr, burr.
lulled me right to sleep.
Yeah, I slept with the window open in the bunk, and I slept good. I mean, hearing like all the sounds, but it was look, Blanche just brought me her ball.
No.
Blanche.
She said, "Put some treats in my ball, Mom." I can't right now. I'll do it in a little bit. Not right now. Um, but I was hearing all sorts of wildlife out there, which was really, really cool. You know, in the big city of Conway, we don't hear that stuff.
No, we don't get. I don't get to hear that out here at my house anymore either. They've
No.
done so much building out here
Mm.
Yeah.
and cut so many trees down.
I could probably hear it from my house, but I don't open. My house is odd. Like I have 3 bay windows, so I don't have a lot of windows that actually open. And in my bedroom, I have sliding glass doors, and I don't feel safe enough sleeping with that screen.
Mm,
Um,
yeah.
so I can't open anything.
Well, I opened the window in that bunk bed, and I slept pretty good. Woke up kind of sore the next day. My hips was hurting, but
Let me ask, who snores?
um, well, I didn't hear any snoring coming from the other end.
Sounds like Deborah heard something.
No, I didn't hear
Oh.
anything.
Look, Deborah and Candy. I got up to go to the bathroom about 5:30 in the morning, just as the sun was peeking out, and I looked down there in that bedroom. And I see Deborah and Candy like a daggum pancake on one side of the bed, just a snoozing away. It was
Are
the
you guys
funniest.
spooning?
I don't think so because I don't normally spoon.
It was Buddy
But
in there. Buddy was in the middle.
Buddy was up in
Buddy
the
was,
middle between us.
Buddy
Yeah,
was flying dog.
Oh man, that was.
yeah.
I was like, dog. I could have just gone in there and crawled right in there because there's a whole half of the bed open.
I wasn't have known a thing till I went to roll over and throw my leg.
Oh man, but no, it was a really fun time. We needed
Erin
it.
said her bunk mate was in there sawing logs.
Yep, sawing some logs.
So there was
Now
a
she said
snore.
she slept good. She said
Yeah,
she slept good.
which
Mhm.
is good, which is real good.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then I got cold when I got up to go to the bathroom at 5:30. I got cold, so I pulled a blanket from off the other bed, curled up.
Well, because you only had a tank top on, right? Gets a little
Yeah,
chilly at night.
yep. Well, that's normally what I sleep in anyway. So, like, I'm already in my jams right now. But
Yeah, but you're not normally in an RV with open windows.
that's true. That's true. But it was nice. The weather was perfect. But
Mm-mm.
It was beautiful.
Yeah, the
yeah.
bug. There wasn't even like too many bugs or anything.
Mm-mm.
Like I maybe had like 1 or 2 bites on my feet, but that was it.
Yeah, no. I didn't have nothing. I was good. Food was good. The company was good. Everything was good.
I'll tell you, my feet were black when I got home, though. Black.
Mhm. Mhm.
Dust,
Mine.
that country dirt.
Yep.
That's why I wore sneakers back in the morning.
I had to jump in there before I got into bed. I had to jump in there and wash my feet off. I was like,
I'm sure.
yeah,
I was
especially
using white Lysol wipes at my front door, getting them all.
especially building the fire, all that.
Mhm.
Girl, I
Oh,
went back there and I cut that shower on, and I had just changed the shower head in the camper, So there's actually pressure in there now. And
Mhm.
I love that shower head. And thank you, Tiki Doki. I cut that hot water on and I stood in there and I was just like,
Yeah, it was good. I sat out there for probably long enough for you and Candy to go in there and get ready for bed. I sat out there, me and Christy, and waited for the fire to die out, and that thing that thing was going good.
Yeah, you did. You
we
did a good
actually
job with the
killed us a
fire.
good fire, didn't we?
Mm-hmm. Good fire. Um, but yeah. So, and then real quick too, before we get into our topic, um, we have a lot of big things coming up for the
Hmm.
team. So stay tuned to our social media. Oh, here comes a special guest. Stay tuned
Blanche.
to our special to what are you doing? Look,
Hi, Blanche.
Blanche.
What? She looks like she did something wrong. She looks like she's
Yeah,
in
she
the
looks like
dunce's
she's
corner.
pouting.
I'm in my spot on the bed, and that's her favorite spot. So she wants that spot.
Well, you
So
need to move.
watch. I'm going to hold on. Blanche, do you want my spot? Here you go.
Come on, Blanche.
All right, now you can have it. But anyway, so we have a lot of big things coming up as a team. A lot of pretty big announcements coming up.
Hmm.
So, y'all make sure to stay tuned on our social media. First big announcement I think is coming out right around Mother's Day.
Yes.
If not on Mother's Day.
So,
So
time they hear it about 1 week.
1 week from the time you hear this episode. So stay tuned for our social media or to our social media for our announcements. Um, so yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited about all the doors that are opening for us this year. Um, but I digress. Let's get into some haunted talking.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you guys have like a favorite haunting case?
Any case of all time or something with us?
She straight up took my spot.
Erin, that's her spot.
It
Let's just
is.
clear that up.
Yeah.
It's her
So
world. You just live in it.
I know. I'm her
You
servant.
just pay the bills.
Yeah. Yeah, Blanche, you're gonna have to get a job. Support the family. Um I think in any haunting case. It can be one of ours. Okay, well, yeah, one of ours and then one of your one that's more known that you like.
I'm gonna have to think on that.
Doop 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 doop
I
doop
did that
doop
before.
doop.
Mm, well, so here's my thing. As far as like known cases, there are several cases that I kind of grew up thinking were real cases, but now because of things I've learned, I'm not so sure that those are actual real things at all. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah.
Like I probably would have went with something like the Amityville house,
Mhm.
but now I'm not so sure. I want to believe it is really haunted, but the Warrens have given me some doubt.
Yeah.
Warrens' involvement. What about you, Deborah?
Um, I probably have two personal.
What you
Is
got?
well, one of them's the Conway City Hall, just
Mhm.
simply because of the history,
Oh yeah.
all the stories there. Um,
See, I
and
get
then
the
another
stories,
one.
but I don't like. I feel a lot of stuff, and I That was like a dead night for me. I wasn't really, and I don't know if it was because of the construction. I don't know. I just
Yeah.
that's probably one of my least favorite things that we've done.
For me, I think it was more like it was like all this the I think they were just hiding. Like I felt like they were there, but they were hiding.
Yeah, I do want to get back into that location to see a
Yeah.
difference once it's back up and running, and it has that day to day energy in it. And
Yeah. Unfortunately, that probably won't happen. But um
Well, you can probably go up there and tell them you would love to tour City Hall,
I
that you
take
would love to see it from the inside.
yeah. Well, I take that back and I'll let you get to your second haunting in just a second, Deborah, but when we did our walking tour with Paranormal South Carolina with Kelly and Kyle, we actually one of the last stops we made was the stairs of Old City Hall or
Hmm.
of City Hall, um,
The
and
front stairs.
the front steps. We walked up to the front door of the courtroom and knocked on the door, and we got it several times back. But each time we would knock on the door, we would get a knock back.
Hmm.
And I mean, this was at 8 o'clock at night, and there's nobody in there.
Right,
And then there was one time where we were like, "Can you?" Without knocking on the door, we were like, "If there's somebody in there, can you knock on the door for us?" And
right,
we got a knock, like it was on command, pretty much. It was pretty cool.
right.
So, what's your second one, Deborah?
There's a house right near my mamoose's old house. A family that we knew lived there. They were farm hands. For whatever reason, he came. Their names were Bo Rock and Mary. I don't remember the last names. They had a grown daughter that was gone, and a daughter and a young son that were still at home. But for whatever reason, in a fit of rage, he took a claw hammer and he beat her in the head and killed her.
Jeez.
And the little girl got away and ran out of the house, and the little boy hid behind the couch.
Hmm.
Um, he'll never get out of prison
Mm,
for what he done. But I can remember as a teenager, late at night, you could hear screams
Wow.
coming from over there towards the pecan orchards, and that's where that house sits at.
oh wow.
And the screen door on the front of my mamoose's house would sling open and slam shut. And she'd always tell us that's Mary coming.
Hmm.
Mm. That's
That's a
terrifying, actually.
It is. It is. I mean, for something. I mean, you know this stuff happens, but for it to happen at your back door.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think too that I like. I like a lot more. And it gets harder the more we do this to really like just sit and think how many we've done and what's happened at each location.
Right.
Because we've been pretty lucky. We normally get at least a couple things at each location.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the Brentwood one I really liked because we have validation from two mediums.
Yes.
Yes.
So that was cool to be able to back up some of the stuff that we had going on with those pictures and whatnot. And then the private investigation that you guys did where I was on FaceTime with you,
Yeah.
that one's fascinating not only because of the picture, but because of the scenario with you and I on the phone
Yeah.
and how we kept getting pulled. Like, I just think there's so much energy in that building.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm good. I don't want to go back for a while. I didn't really care for the energy there. Like it was a weird
See, I kind
it
of want to
was
get in there because I'm curious because I wasn't there, but
yeah.
I just don't understand how we kept getting pulled back to the same exact spot.
Yeah, it was I mean for me
Like
that location
something had to have happened in that spot.
yeah. For me that location was probably the scariest that I've been to simply for the fact that I felt like the spirit that was there I don't feel like it was a child. It was children, but I
Right.
feel like the spirit that was there was trying to separate
Lure you.
us the
Mm.
whole night. I don't feel like it was evil or anything, but
I wonder
had
if I would have been facing somebody else, if I would have lured them to a completely different location to separate them from you.
maybe, possibly, yeah,
Did the energy shift, Aaron? I mean, did you notice a difference after Craig got there?
Mm.
yes. The energy, I mean, it made sense what the medium had mentioned about this,
Mm-hmm.
but as soon as he got there, the energy completely shifted, and now it seemed like it was pissed off. And
Mm-hmm.
but like when it
And
was just
possibly even toying with him because he lost his keys, right? The whole thing with
yeah,
his keys happened.
yeah, he
Mm-hmm.
lost his keys, but the weird thing is when it was just the four of us there, it felt like whatever was there was trying to separate us and get us each alone, but it felt like it took joy in like making us feel scared. Like that's the feeling I got from it because I would notice that I would venture off in the building alone. Well, on the phone with you, on FaceTime with you,
Mhm.
I would venture off alone and then it would almost be like I realized that I was alone and I'd go back to the center. And then it would happen again. And then once Craig got there, it felt like he was pissed off. Like
So, what kind of haunting do you think that may have been? Do you think that was a spirit that was actually alive at some point, or something completely different?
um I I don't know. So I'm
I mean,
of the
obviously,
belief
it's not residual because it was intelligent enough to.
right, yeah. So I'm of the belief that like so this was an antique shop or this was an antique shop. So well, I don't think the building itself was an antique shop. It's used as a storage for an antique shop. So there's a lot of different pieces in
It
that.
used to be.
It used to be
It
the
it
antique
used
shop.
to be.
Well, there's
Mm-hmm.
a lot of different pieces in this property
Mhm.
that um that hold energy. I mean, you could just walk by any piece at any time and feel the energy radiating off of it.
Well, and that's the same thing I get at the tobacco museum.
Yeah. So, as far as a specific haunting, I mean, it clearly is intelligent, but I think that there is an attachment to a piece of furniture.
Okay.
Um, and so that leads into the next question. Do you think that spirit can attach to furniture, objects, or do you think it's strictly like a haunting is strictly based off the land?
I
I
think
think
they
it
can.
can attach to things.
Yeah, I think they can attach to things, but then I get confused at the same time because also feel like, so I guess, I was reading an idea of an orb is a spirit going from one place to another. So why are some stuck and some can freely move?
Mm,
Like even with the spirit at the Brentwood, when she was saying that, somebody was going home and they said they called the previous owner and said something, and something was in her car, and the owner was like, "That's just one of those. Just bring it back and tell it to get out." And the person
yeah.
brought it back. Like, how come some are
Now,
location
I was going to say, do you think they're stuck there, or do you think that
choosing to
they
stay?
cho- they choose to stay there because that's where, like for example, at the Brentwood, we know that the former owner is there, but do you think that she can like? Do you think that she is stuck there, or do you think that she chooses to be there because it's her home?
In her case, I believe that she chooses to stay with her home, like she's protecting it. But now, if you think about an object, I mean, I understand loving a particular object, but enough to not move on and just be stuck with an object if it's even sitting in, storage. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, I
that part's
kind
a
of
little sticky for me.
Yeah, the way I think about that is I think about like it makes me think about like Harry Potter and Voldemort's Horcruxes, where like he attaches a bit of his soul to these objects.
So,
So,
like speaking of soul, have you ever thought about that? Like, so as far as like when your soul leaves your body,
mhm.
um, I was reading an interesting theory on this. So let's see, have you heard of this? And this is like brand new to me, but there was a an issue of American Medicine from 1907, and the person who wrote it, his basic theory was that when you die, you immediately lose weight. He did a bunch of tests to see, like, obviously, when you pass away, your body lets go of its fluids.
Mhm.
You're gonna go probably 1 and 2, and the air is gonna release from your lungs. He was saying even with all of that, the numbers don't add up. It basically said that you lose 21 grams, and he thinks that the missing number of weight that he can't account for is your soul immediately leaving your body.
Huh.
So he's actually put a weight to a soul. What do you think about that?
That's kind of interesting
Convert
actually.
21 grams to pounds.
I didn't read it in pounds. I think somebody else, when I looked up this article, it was because somebody else said that you lose 6 ounces, I think. Let's see.
21 grams to a pounds is 0.046 pounds. So,
So
not
like a
even,
quarter of a pound.
yeah.
I think the original article said like 6 ounces that they couldn't make up the math for.
Hmm. I mean, that's interesting. Like, and like I've heard the
The idea is
theory.
that your aura goes out with your soul. That's why you no longer have an aura. So as soon as you die, your aura, your soul go.
So, what if your aura is your soul or your soul's energy? I mean, we know auras is an
Yeah.
energy. So,
Hmm.
what if your soul, once you go, that energy, well, obviously that energy goes with you, but I mean, what if that's all connected?
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, think about it. Like I said, like this guy was onto this in 1907.
Yeah.
Like I've never even really thought about that.
All I know is that I want to have a like keywords like one of our team members had said if she, when she goes, she's going to have us come and investigate her and um you know, she's going to have like phrases and stuff for us. Like I'm
Mhm.
going to have phrases if, that way I can come back and be like, this is what's going on. Here we go.
At our next
So what are we
outing,
gonna do? Go to the funeral home and have a setting up when she dies?
Who?
Whoever you were just talking about.
She's going to have us go to the funeral home and hold a
I
spirit
said,
box.
so what are we gonna do? Go to the funeral home and have a setting up like they used to?
no, go to her house.
Go to her house or tell her to come
Okay.
here, wherever.
She's gonna hang out
No,
with the
I
other
got
spirits
enough
in her
ghosts
house.
at my house. I don't want nobody else coming here.
She's already got other people at her house, so
But
at our next little shindig, we should make a little like time capsule that we all put what our things will be in.
just in case, be like, just in case, here
Yeah.
you go. Yeah, I mean, yeah. I already told my husband I was going to come back and haunt his ass if I go before him because he doesn't believe in it. But I mean, yeah, it's hauntings are a very interesting concept. Like um, I know it. I think a lot too depends on the way or the manner that somebody passes. If they pass in a peaceful way,
Hmm.
or of old age or something like that in a very peaceful transition,
Right.
then I think that they don't necessarily stick around as long. Um,
Or maybe they do stick. So maybe it can also be like, um, this is my what if, so take a shot.
whoop
Um,
whoop.
so what if the people who have had some kind of trauma or stress or like a pure love attachment, those are the ones who stay in a place, an object, whatever. And then the orbs are the people who we would consider like are in heaven because
Hmm.
there's nothing keeping them to a certain place or a certain item or
Right.
person. They just can fly about and do whatever they want.
Yeah, but then they can also manifest and stuff like that too. I mean, I think every spirit can manifest itself. But I
Well,
think,
I mean, it's like us. It's like any person can use psychic abilities. You just have to learn how to. So it's the same thing with their energy. They just have to learn how to focus it and to do what they want to do.
right. Yeah, I mean, I think that it's definitely, yeah, I think it's all a matter of the manner in which you pass. I mean, such as like the screams that you would hear, Deborah. That could be totally like, I think that if you passed, and I hope not, but I think if you pass with enough passion and energy and trauma behind that passing, I think it might lead to a residual haunting where it's like spirit doesn't
Right.
know. And I think residual hauntings, I don't necessarily think of like stone tape theory. I think that they are spirits that don't necessarily know that they are dead. I think that they are kind
If
of
they don't know that
reliving
they're dead, though, why are they in a like a loop? Why are they in a time loop that it happens over and over?
because I think that they're reliving their final memory to try. I think they're trying to put the pieces together. Like they don't necessarily know that they're dead. Their final memory, like take Velisca X Murder House, for example. They have a lot of hauntings. They have hauntings during the day anytime. They have a few intelligent spirits there, but there is a lot of residual there where you hear. I know some of the things that have been captured have been screams, have been footsteps, stuff like that, and it's all around a certain time, which is when the murders happen. So what if they are, I think a couple of them have, as soon as it happened, they realize, okay, I am not alive anymore. And so what if the others don't really, what if there's a veil between the intelligent and the residual are reliving their final memory because they are trying to put those pieces together. They're like, it's like a case of ghost amnesia. Like they're
I have
like,
another theory.
okay.
What if the residual, because typically, again, that does come from some kind of traumatic event, a murder, right? So
Hmm.
let's say, so the person who is being murdered most likely is innocent, and the person who caused the murder, not.
Right.
One's going to go to hell, one's going to go to heaven. So what if the residual screams, for example, of somebody being murdered? When that spirit goes to heaven because they were murdered, the negative energy from the scream falls and stays to that property, so they don't remember it and they go to peace in heaven. They don't
Right.
remember that whole trauma. The energy just stays here.
And that energy just kind of manifests into a loop.
Hmm. It's
Oh,
just
that's
trapped
interesting.
energy because you don't imagine good people who were murdered stuck in a house. You
Yeah,
know what I
no,
mean? You
you
want to
don't.
believe
Yeah.
that they're going to go, their soul's going to go to heaven
Yeah. I mean,
because as we
unless
know
they
how
have,
energy works.
yeah, that's a good theory. Y'all let us know what you think about that theory because that's a good one. But I mean, like, you could have, yeah, but I mean, yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's the idea behind a haunting is fascinating to me. Like, what causes something to become haunted? Do you think people can be haunted?
Hmm.
So would that be like a case of, if somebody is haunted, do you think it's like, grandma passes away and when you move, she moves with you, or do you think that's a case of possession if people become haunted?
So that's basically like, is it possession or is it attachment, right?
Right. Exactly. And
So I
what's
think
the difference?
attachment is somebody. I think attachment is somebody coming along with you. Possession is them actually jumping into you.
Yeah.
So one is like you're walking down the street with me, and one is I've stolen your body.
Yeah. Hmm. Interesting. Interesting.
What do you think?
I I mean, I know like and I'll like I know like my grandmother for example. She has never physically been to my house. But after she passed, I know that she came to my house.
Well, see, now I think your grandma's more like an orb, right?
Yeah.
So she passed peacefully, and now
Yeah.
she can fly around to different locations. She can check on your family because you said she's been at your house, but we also know that she was at the opera house.
Right.
So did
Yeah.
she come with you, or is she just, out and
Right.
about? She's checking on other people.
I don't know at the opera house. Was it you that said that you saw somebody with me when I pulled up? Somebody said that to me. I can't remember. So therefore she rode with me. She hopped in the car and rode with me. But I mean, it's just an interesting concept because I mean,
Well, Deborah, what do you think?
Girl, I don't. I have too many thoughts, and they start overlapping and running together. I mean, if I think about this, and then that puts me on this track over here, and then I'm like, okay, well then, what if this? And I'm not sure.
this has been a mind opening exercise right here. Um, yeah, I. But so if orbs, we know that there's a veil between the living and the spirit world, and orbs, if they are spirits who that are traveling freely, why why don't we get pictures of them more often?
Of orbs?
Yeah, like just out and about, just
I
everyday
think we
lives.
do. We just don't know because everybody writes it off as dust.
True.
I mean, we've definitely gotten some good ones that I don't have any confusion on.
Oh
Like
yeah.
the one that I have, when we were at the library where you saw the guy out the window.
Mm-hmm.
That
So
thing
when
comes straight to the
you
camera
and
and then
Christy at that table, yeah, that thing, like the movement of that thing coming at me, and then the way
yeah.
it like basically stops in front of my face and then goes over my head
Yeah.
right after my name was on the spirit box. It
Yeah.
was either right after or right before, but either way, it was Linnea, and then this thing just coming right at my face, stopping and going over.
Right.
That's one of the ones I don't question whatsoever.
But I mean like not actively investigating. I mean like in everyday circumstances when you're just,
Because
snap.
everybody in the world thinks they're us. If
Mm,
we can't tell the difference from them and we're hoping they're paranormal, most people don't believe in paranormal, so everything's
right.
just dust.
Wouldn't it be a
They're
lovely
not
world
looking
if
to believe
everybody
in us.
believed in ghosts?
Now I'm surprised your husband doesn't. Did he not hear the recorded the EVP from the opera house with your grandma?
He did. He's heard it, but he's
Still
like,
no.
nah, nah. He's like, there's a scientific explanation for everything. And I'm like, and so to
It
which,
could
One of those, huh?
be. He could be one of those that he knows it, but he's not going to accept it.
yeah. Well, that's why I told him. I said, well, if I go before you, I'm coming back to haunt your ass. um,
Well, so let's what about poltergeist? Do you think in any of our investigations we've ever come in contact with a poltergeist?
hmm.
So let's take that back a step. Let's talk a little bit about what a poltergeist is.
It's a noisy ghost. That's what it means in German.
Right.
Noisy
But they
ghost.
say they typically start out with like that's the ghost that you're going to see like opening doors,
Yep.
slamming things, moving stuff around.
Yeah, moving stuff. And I think that poltergeist can be more of a nuisance than
Mhm.
a regular everyday spirit.
So,
Because it's more active. I think it's not necessarily more active, but more physical. I think it can be scary for a lot of people. But I think at the end of the day, a poltergeist is more of a confused spirit. Like they have something to say and they want to get it out, but they don't know how. And opening doors, windows, moving things is the only way that they know.
I kind of feel like
And this is me personally, but as far as any investigation that we have had and things that we have run into, I think probably the closest to a poltergeist would be whatever the hell that was in the attic section of the morgue.
Oh yeah, that was a weird. That was that was weird.
It was weird, it was creepy, it was unnerving, it was unsettling. I,
Well,
almost to the point
so. Give a little
I
recap
started
of
getting
that
sick.
scenario.
Huh?
we had well, this was in Lake City,
Mhm.
Yeah.
and we it was me, Deborah, Candy, and Angela. That was our group, and we went upstairs in the morgue, um, and we were all standing up there, which is upstairs in the attic, and it just had a very heavy feeling anyway. But then we I was in the we were getting ready to go down the stairs, and I there was loose pieces of wood and like loose pieces of paper and stuff up there, and I was the last one in the line to go down the stairs. And I heard what sounded like, when like a piece of paper is on a dusty floor and you step on it, or a piece of wood is on a dusty floor and you step on it and
Yeah.
it slides out from underneath you. That is what I heard. And it felt like somebody was rushing up on me, and like I was ready to get out of that attic.
Was that before or after you got goosed?
That was before. Yeah, that was a
So,
weird.
ever you think that might have been a poltergeist?
What, the gooster? The one that goosed her?
Mhm. Well, the one in that building.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think that was, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, and then there was another part of that building where we were walking through, Deborah, and you heard, I don't know what you heard, but you were like, we got to get out of here.
Hmm.
So, what did you get there, Deborah?
I don't remember exactly what it was, but I think it was more of a feeling than anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, if Deborah tells me it's time to go, I'm probably running.
Yeah. I mean, we went right out of there because we were about to exit the building that way. And Deborah's like, we need to go around. So,
Hmm.
and then we caught a poltergeist in the parking lot that morning at like midnight. Do you remember that?
So, what was that?
they got the they got possessed by the spirit. These two people in the parking lot got possessed by the spirit, and they were going for it and going for it and going
Oh,
for it.
I see.
Yeah.
So,
And whatever that was coming down them steps behind Christy,
Oh yeah, that was weird.
that was, yeah.
what was coming down the stairs behind Christy? What was
I
happening?
don't know what it was, but she could feel it right on her heels.
So, not
I ain't
not
never
like a
seen that
shadow
man
you
thing
saw or
move
anything. It
that
was like
fast.
something that she felt.
Yeah.
Uh, Yeah, but I mean, it was almost like Aaron said when we were upstairs in the morgue. It was like it was bum rushing her,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Like get out of
And
my space.
yeah,
It was like it jumped from that building to the next, and I mean, yeah. So as far
nearly
as
moved.
I don't necessarily feel like we've ever had anything poltergeist action. wise because nothing we've had fits the normal.
Table slide in, chair, like what you'd see in
Yeah,
the movie Poltergeist, which I love that.
right. Yeah. So I mean, nothing that we've had happen fits that mold of a poltergeist.
So, do you think that there's a poltergeist at the Brentwood that we didn't experience since things are known for moving there? I mean, obviously,
I
there's been other videos with like things flying
I
off
think
tables.
I
I
don't think that's a poltergeist. I think that's probably the owner trying
yeah.
to get some attention, trying to
Well,
get your attention.
I had a dream. Was it a dream or a flash image? I can't remember. Before we went there, I had, we'll say it's a flash image of a gentleman, like a grandpa like figure that likes to just, like, you know how grandpas, they'll go, oh, pull my finger. And like, there's a gentleman there that likes to play tricks on people. More so, leave it. More so the staff there than anything.
Hmm.
Stop. Stop it. Stop. Don't be a jerk. Stop it. More so than anything likes to play tricks on the staff. And that's where a lot of the moving things happen, or the earrings get missing.
Yeah, but I think some of the movement they have on tape is when the building's empty, like
Yeah.
security cameras.
Okay, yeah.
Which now I'm thinking, I don't know if you remember, I told you, like, so I had the dream the night before, and I literally had the vision of the lady from the Poltergeist, and I was like, that's the weirdest thing ever. Why did I dream about the lady from the Poltergeist
And then
movie?
did somebody
And
mention
then
it?
yes, and then when we were talking to one of the employees, he said something about Poltergeist, and I was like, that's really weird. And now I
Yeah.
was wondering if that was actually a sign that there was, like, that was the way of communicating to me that there is a Poltergeist there, like they're
Well,
that word.
maybe one day we'll find out.
So let's move along. So what about like a demonic haunting? What are your thoughts and
Um,
theories?
so as I've always said this, as the founder of this team, I will never knowingly send us into some place that has demonic.
And we appreciate that.
Yeah, I
We
mean,
appreciate that a lot.
because
Do you think you ever
that
actually
freaks me.
came across that kind of energy anywhere?
No.
Nope.
No, and
Nope.
I don't ever want
Nope.
to. I mean, we've come across some negative energy, but not evil, not dark, dank feeling.
I don't know.
Just,
I think we had one dark, and I don't know how I want to classify him, but
you talking about the Tobacco Museum?
mhm.
I
Yeah,
don't think it
that's
was.
the only time I've ever been scared. Like that's the one building I don't like. I don't want to go to the bathroom by myself. I'm not going to get in. I'm not going to put any batteries in the camera down there. I'm not doing it. I don't want to walk around like some and the smell. Like I don't think I associate that whole smell experience as something negative. Like I don't
Yeah,
know
I mean, it was
why, but
definitely negative, but I don't feel it was demonic. I feel it was definitely negative. Um,
what kind of
I
haunting do you think you guys would classify him as?
just an asshole. I mean, literally, like women were nothing good except for they were good for nothing except for sex, making babies, and making food.
Yep, he
That's
called
it.
us names. We were
He called
physically
us
touched
names.
in pain in the same manner.
Yeah.
We had
But
that smell.
also you have to remember we also had some we had a
Negative
person
energy.
with us that had a bunch of negative energy. And then when I started feeling his energy is when I kind of like wanted to throw hands with him.
Right.
Yeah, because we didn't have that when we went back.
We didn't have that when we went back at all.
It
I
wasn't the
still
same when
don't
we went back, but no matter how many times we're there, I
I
have
don't
a
like to be
feeling
in the
of
back
uncomfort
room.
there.
Yeah, I don't like to be in that back room.
Mm-mm.
Um
Now, see, I feel that way about that cemetery by Lenia's house.
yeah, I don't like to be in that back. I don't want to go back to that cemetery.
Well, and I think it's probably worse now with all that country. I mean, they are lit. It's like a postage stamp size of grass now because they're building a community completely around it.
Well, they're gonna have
That's gonna be
residents.
some poltergeist stuff right there.
Once they build that community, Linnea, we need to take a walk in that community
Oh no, not
and
me.
and start
Mm-mm.
and start passing out business cards.
I'm not going near that thing. I
No,
had to replace my cell phone, my car battery, and then my eye leaked for a year after that. I'm not going
yeah,
anywhere near that thing.
no, definitely
My
not.
house had to be saged twice. That was a whole mess.
Yeah, yeah. So
Pretty
that
much. I
was.
literally
What
had
do
to
you
get a new
class?
cell phone and a new car battery.
So what would you classify that as?
Something I ain't touching. I don't know. What do
Yeah,
you think, Deborah? I mean, and I know you had stuff going on because you were communicating with a lady there in that tree line. You were telling us something she had said.
It was. I had such a overwhelming sense of dread.
yeah,
The only thing I can tell you is it was evil. It was
yeah.
not good.
And it
It
wasn't.
It's
wasn't.
not the cemetery, it's the tree line.
It's that tree line,
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
and yeah, it was not. It was not good, and then you and I went back, Linnea, and that's when everything started happening because I
Mhm.
got touched and then you got touched.
Well, no, I told you I got touched before you. I was sitting in my car. This might be a little too much information for people, but
TMI alert.
I was sitting in my car waiting for Erin, and I literally started getting pain like in my chest, in my physical chest,
In
like
her female chest.
my female chest. I was
In her
literally started
chesticles.
having pain. Like I think something was trying to. I don't know if it was trying to attach to me. I don't know if it was trying to enter me. I don't know.
Yeah.
And then I was just uncomfortable all after that. And then my car, when I got in the car that night, my center console wouldn't turn on, and then I needed a whole new battery within like 2 days. And I
Yeah.
wasn't having any issues before that, and my phone stopped working.
Yeah, I'm never going back to that place. But I mean, as you know, and I would hope, we know when we do this, when we investigate these locations, or when we investigate in general, we know there's a risk there that we are taking.
Right.
But I will never knowingly send us into a location that has things that might be demonic. And like,
And we
and I'll
discussed
tell you,
turning down, like when we first started, and there was a couple private things that we were
yeah.
like, you know,
Well, I'll tell you, we have an investigation booked for this summer sometime, and this one is a bit of a drive for us, and I kind of am nervous about that one. Like I'm really strongly debating that one. Deborah, you know the one I'm talking about?
I didn't catch all of what you said. You're fading out on me.
Sorry, as I talk, my microphone gets down like this. Um, but there's an investigation that we have planned for this summer sometime, and it's a little bit of a distance away, but it's one that I'm nervous about because the energy that I pick up is kind of weird and I can't really place it. But also I've never been there before. But I'm debating this one.
Get why don't you give me and Chris a little bit of information on this one and have us start doing our little meditations now and see if we're picking up the same stuff as you.
Okay. I'll give that to you afterwards. But yeah, I'm a little wary about this one. Like I I can't really we'll talk more about it after we stop recording,
Okay.
um but yeah, I mean, the idea behind hauntings just fascinate me, and that's one of the reasons, why I wanted to start this was to, answer our own personal questions. What causes something to become haunted?
Right.
But but we about to run out of time. But y'all got anything else you want to add?
No, I'm going to stop there because if we start anything else, we're going to square off and we'll be here another hour.
Right. But yeah, So y'all let us know what y'all think in the comments. Do you think that, let us know how you think hauntings happen. Do you think it's the land? Do you think it's the people? Do you think it's the objects? Do you think it's spirits that's trapped with unfinished business? Let us know.
My
Um,
theory about the good part going and the evil part staying.
yeah, the energy drop. But yeah, y'all let us know what y'all think, and uh, stay tuned for some big news coming from Ghost of the Coast Paranormal. Um, both the team and the podcast.
Whoop whoop.
Um, but there you have it. Different theories about hauntings. And until next time, y'all come back now, you hear?
Bye.
Bye.
No.